Today let us revise Baba's Avek Murli of 26th November 1979. The title of the Murli is Fulfilling the Responsibility of Love. Fulfilling the Responsibility of Love. Baba says, in order to give all of you children the return of your love and remembrance, Bap Dada has become corporeal in the same way as you. Because to become equal means to give the return of love. The Father constantly loves his children and always obeys them. As soon as his children call him, he comes here and becomes the same as them. The Father enters another soul's body in order to fulfill his responsibility of love. So what should you children now be doing? Baba is fulfilling his responsibility of love. He comes into a foreign land and takes support of another soul's body in order to meet us in this corporeal world. What should you children now be doing? All of you children are loving anyway. In fact, to live in Madhuban is also to give the return of love. To come running here from far away is also a sign of love. What is the return of having total love? It says we are loving, we go to Madhuban, we spend time with Baba. But Baba says, what is the return of having total love? How do we return? You are loving and you also have the Father's love. The one thing that the Father constantly desires is that all of his children should become equal to him. Because of his love for you, he becomes equal to all of you by coming into the corporeal world and adopting a corporeal form. So all of you should also become equal to the Father, subtle residents of the subtle region and masters of all virtues, the same as the incorporeal Father. This is known as the return of love. So for our souls to become incorporeal, become resident of our home, to become resident of the subtle region, is to give return of Baba's love. Have you become those who give the return of total love? Or do you still have to become that? You have definitely become that, but you are number wise. Let's just take a pause and just experience that these souls are residents of the subtle region. We live there, and from there we have come into the physical dimension. We souls have total love for Baba, and the return of that total love is to experience just being like him. Just like Baba fulfills his responsibility by coming into the corporeal world, we fulfill our responsibility by staying up above, in the sky, beyond the sky, and just incarnating here in the physical world for a short duration. But our home is up above. Baba says, today, Bapdada was watching the games of all the loving children. What games were being played? You also enjoy watching games, do you not? What was seen at the time of the early morning hours of nectar? All of you souls who can fly like birds, who can fly even faster than a rocket, and those who move even faster than the speed of sound, reached your corporeal places. Just as when an aeroplane reaches its destination, it lands at that airport, so too, all of you souls reached your spiritual airport. Mhm. The aim and direction of each of you was the same. Your aim was to fly and become equal to the Father, and the direction was to fly within a second. So, what happened? Before an aeroplane takes off, checking is done with the facilities of science to ensure everything is in order. And then it is loaded with everything. The plane has to be filled with whatever is needed, such as petrol, air, and food. Only then would the plane take off and fly. All the aeroplanes of you Brahmin souls did reach your takeoff point. However, the direction was and is to fly within a second. Many were left behind because they were still doing their checking. Some were left behind because of checking, I am a soul, not a body. Some were left behind whilst trying to fill themselves with all powers by churning knowledge. I am a master embodiment of knowledge. I am a master almighty authority. Some had these pure thoughts, but they were unable to become embodiments of them. And so they got stuck in the second stage of just filling themselves. I was explaining so beautifully. I was saying some remained so busy in trying to fill themselves that they were unable to fly. They were engaged in pure thoughts, but they were unable to leave the earth of the body. They were unable to stabilize in the bodiless stage. So Baba is saying we're busy in checking. The first is I am a soul, not a body. Second is churning, or filling. Right? Mm. So then you're still stuck in feeling, but not being able to become an embodiment and fly. Mhm. A very few select ones were able to fly within a second and reach the subtle world or the incorporeal world according to the Father's direction. Just as the Father enters another body and then leaves, just as the Supreme Soul is able to enter another one's body, so you Brahmin souls who have died alive and are great souls are also able to enter and leave your own bodies. Become a karma yogi whenever you choose. Become a yogi of the supreme abode or a yogi of the subtle region whenever you wish. Since you have become the masters of the three worlds, you are free to do this whenever you want. At this time, you are lords of all three worlds, and a lord is able to go to his place whenever he wants. Mhm. So, really, the key word Papa is emphasizing is to fly in a second. So, in a second, let us experience just completely detaching from this physical dimension, physical instrument, and we fly to our home of light. That's where we souls live. And we just naturally hold on to this awareness. It is natural for us to live here in our home, and the movie world, story world, is in a different dimension. We souls have come home in Baba's light of love. And we just experience being here with Baba. Baba says, one thought of many children reaches Baba. They think the Father is free from bondage, whereas I am bound in the bondage of the body and the bondage of karma. However, Bapdada is still asking you, have you not yet renounced everything, including your body? The first promise that all of you children made was body, mind, and wealth are all no longer mine, but yours. Since they are not your own and they belong to Baba, how can you be bound to them? Mhm. Bapdada has just given them to you on loan. You are just the trustee of it all, not the owner. Now that you have died alive and your accounts of 83 births have been completed, This is your new 84th birth. You cannot compare this birth to any other birth. This divine birth is not a bondage, it is a relationship. Another Hindi word is bandhan ya sambandh. Bondage is bandhan, relationship is sambandh. This is not a birth in which you have any bondage of karma, but a birth in which you become a karma yogi. In this alaukic divine birth, you Brahmin souls are independent, not dependent. It is when you change yours into mine that you become dependent. My first account, my first sanskars. Where did this mine come from? If you remain free by staying aware that you have received that body on loan, you can then fly within a second. You promised that you would sit wherever you were made to sit and do whatever you were told to do. So, are you a soul who is in bondage to the Father or in bondage to karma? The Father has also given you the direction to perform karma. You are free, and the one who is making you move is doing that. You are just moving. This was the special dharana of your mother Saraswati. The one who is giving all the orders is making me move. The Hindi translation is Hukmi Hukum Chalai Raha. This was how she claimed a number ahead. So follow the mother and father. You allow a web of wasteful thoughts to enter your mind in the form of I have to settle my karma. I am bound by my karma. I am bound by my sanskars. And I'm also in bondage to the gathering. You trap yourself in the web you create, and you then ask to be released. I was saying we ourselves create the web by having these wasteful thoughts. Baba says you are already free, but you can only become free if you let go. Are you free from bondage or in bondage? You have already shed your body and died alive. You have simply adopted that old body to serve the world. The Father is filling that old body with power and making it move along. It is the Father's responsibility. So why do you take it upon yourself? You do not look after your responsibility, and yet you do not let go of it. Let go of the responsibility. That is, let go of the consciousness of mine. Let go of the consciousness of mine. My effort, my invention, my service, my touchings, my virtues, etc., are very good. My handling power is very good. My decision making power is very good. My understanding is accurate, whereas everyone else is under a misunderstanding. I was explaining in such detail how this uh, consciousness of mine or mine comes and how it just creates such a big illusion. Baba says, where did this consciousness of mine come from? This is a royal form of Maya. This is a royal form of Maya. Conquer this Maya, and you can become a conqueror of matter within a second. Within a second. Baba is saying this subtle web of mind that we create under Maya's influence is what doesn't allow the soul to leave the body and the world of the body in a second. Baba says, conquer this Maya and you can become a conqueror of matter within a second. You will then take the support of matter, but you will not be dependent on it. Only those who have conquered matter can conquer the world. Prakriti Jeet or Jagat Jeet. Then you will easily and automatically be able to follow the direction of becoming bodiless in a second. What game did you see? You're all very clever in making mine into yours. If someone does something whilst under a magic spell, he's not even aware of what he's doing. This royal Maya also casts a magic spell, and you don't realize what you are saying. What will you do now? Now change from being one who feels bound by your karma and become a karma yogi. Do you understand? Now free yourself from all bondage. When you consider yourself to have all relationships with the one Father alone, you will be constantly ever ready. Practice becoming bodiless as soon as you have that thought. No matter how busy you are in service or how much your work is pulling you, or even if your intellect is very busy in this work, at such a time, practice becoming bodiless. When your service is accurate, there can never be any bondage of that service. Because a Yog Yukt and Yukti Yukt server constantly stays beyond whilst serving. It shouldn't be that because you have a lot of service to do, you're unable to become bodiless. If you remember that it is not your service, but that the Father has given it to you, you will remain free from bondage. Practice remaining aware that you are a trustee and are free from all bondage. Practice having the karmatit stage, and you will have during the extreme situations of the final moments. Only then would it be said that you haven't changed yours into mine. That you haven't been dishonest with the treasures entrusted to you. Do you understand what you now have to practice? Just as you have traffic control of your thoughts every now and then, so also experience your stage of the final moments, of the extreme times. Then at the end, you will be able to pass with honors. Then at the end, you will be able to pass with honors. So let us take a moment and become bodiless. We realize that there's nothing in this physical dimension that belongs to I, the soul. And so it is really absurd to put the label mind onto any aspect of this physical world, including seva, including this body, including everything around the body, including the effort. Everything belongs to the part. It's been given by Baba. It belongs to him. I, the soul, I'm entrusted with this. Doesn't belong to me. Not a single atom from this physical world belongs to me, the soul. And then there is no pull of anything from the physical dimension. There is no pull, no attraction, no dependency, no bondage. I, the soul, only enter this physical world as a guest. I don't hold on to anything. Just like Baba takes loan of the body, I, the soul, also come, enter, take support, alone of the body belongs to God, of the mind that belongs to God. Everything belongs to Him. In a second, I allow the body and the world of the body to fade away into distance, as if it doesn't exist. What remains is only I, the soul, with Baba. There's nothing else between us. I experience the sweetness of all relationships with Baba. I experience total love with Baba. And giving the return of this love is just to stay here, be here, accompany Him. Become like Him. Baba says, to those who are constantly free from bondage, to those who are like the Father and can conquer matter whenever they want, to those who are constant trustees of their natures and sanskars, to those who are beyond the awareness of the body, to such children who are the world benefactors to uplift the world. Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. Let's take a moment in silence to just absorb Baba's versions. Thank you, Baba. Family, Om Shanti. Such a powerful Murli, such a deep Murli. And Baba shared how to really give the return of Baba's love is to be able to just be like him, just like Baba gives the return of his love for us by coming here, visiting the corporeal world. In the same way, we have to give the return. And the more we practice this, the more we experience Baba's perspective, the more we are able to stay there. And the method is very simple. Baba said, in a second, leave everything, become bodiless. And for that, Baba just said, convert or change bondage into relationship. Convert mine into yours. When there is nothing mine that pulls, the mind, and there is only the one Baba that is there in the mind. And then the soul can fly in a second. And so just the end times, the more I experiment during the day, also just to see beyond the exit, to see beyond this bodily existence, like the moment when I leave this body and I leave the body in Baba's remembrance, then I fly to Baba. Om Shanti. Thank you. Let's maybe share what we'll take from Baba today. Shanti.
Om Shanti, brother. Very nice, Murli. So, Baba says those who have conquered the matter can conquer the world. So, conquering the matter means we are going beyond. Matter is the body, right? So, we are going beyond the body. That too, just like Baba is coming into Brahma Baba's body in a second and then leaving from the body in a second. Similarly, we should be doing, we children should be doing. So we need to have the practice of becoming bodiless, right? So the moment we think we should be out from the body, so it should happen in less than a minute. And so Baba very rightly said that, when we become busy, right, and when we are pulled by something, right, so our intellect is very busy with that. So it becomes, sometimes difficult to stabilize in that bodiless stage or experience that stage, right? So we practice the traffic control. I mean, I personally feel that this is something that which I am going through. So I know that I have to put a full stop and I should be practicing the bodiless than being pulled or being engaged with the work or thinking over and over about it. But I feel sometimes I'm not able to put that full stop effectively. Though I might do the traffic control just for the sake of doing it, where I'm not experiencing Baba really. Okay. So one good point that I got here is Baba says that, you have to experience a stage of the final moments and at extreme times that's going to come, right? So we are getting ready for that. So when you have that scenes and sceneries in your mind, then you will be a little more careful and you will give some more importance to it for your practice, because this practice is going to help you there, right? So that's when you will pass, and that's going to help you to go out of the body in a second. So yeah, this is the takeaway for me today, brother. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Very nice. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Shanti. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. And today's takeaway of my it's not my body. I know the body is given. We have a God gifted. God has given a gift. It is not of my body. Is of not mine. It's means we are a trustee. Means I am trustee. So and this soul, and I always thankful to that Baba. And when we do that thankful, you can fly in a second. Thank you, Baba. Thanks. Thanks. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Very nice.
Om Shanti Sodabai.
Om Shanti. Kirchapan.
I have read a book, Love Story by Eric Siegel. And I treasured that book along the way he explained about true love. And I think rightfully today, I have often asked you also, what is that love portion which Baba has given you extra more than us? That whenever you speak about God's love, whenever you run a Murli about that, I find that Baba is sometimes a little bit an overdose. Maybe he has given you or something. Because as you were reading the Murli, I saw you also as like the other day there was a blessing about a Raj Rishi, the one who's over but who finds tasteless, who finds the world tasteless. That's love, I think. And today Baba is speaking about way of love. So there are two things over here where Baba mentions about destiny and responsibility. And so many things he has said: to fulfill responsibility, do this; to fulfill responsibility, do this. We glorify him as if suppose you as to speak about God's love. I think I can talk in hours and then I, it won't be accepted here. So that's why my heart is full. I'm exploring the power of love, acting in flow of love. My heart is full of love. Baba, the love for the Father is always there. So is it loving the Father or fulfilling the responsibility or becoming embodiments of love or merge in love or lost in love? Baba really gives us a big PhD on this, what we call it as is love. Sometimes he says, your God's love should not be dry because then it'll become like dry sugar cane. Like, and today he just gave very simple. See, in love, what happens for a lover? Her beloved alone exists. The world doesn't exist. She finds life tasteless. She just finds his touch, his look, his being in her presence really brings out. That's what Baba has said here. But especially the whole love he summarized in Yad Pyar, beyond awareness of the world, beyond awareness of everything. So when he said conquer matter, it's also conquering the body. And I love that one word of bondage. I am in bondage of love, not karma. I'm in bondage of love for Baba. So by miles can be really shared. But I think my thoughts, if it could reach him. Om Shanti.
You always articulate so well and very beautifully. Thank you for sharing, Kirishaben. Yeah, appreciate that. Shanti.
Point of reflection today is where Baba says that he gives the analogy of how the aircraft flies and what kind of checking the aircraft does before flying so that it seamlessly, without any uh, blocks, it flies peacefully. And if we reflect the same analogy in the way Baba is today talking about is how to become bodiless and fly beyond a rocket and a airplane as well. One reflection is what stops either soul to even reach there is further in the Murli where Baba mentions about bondages. So the only access that I see is letting go of what's been seen from all the, letting go of all the sensual experiences, whether it is touch, looking from eye, smell, taste. Can I let go of that in a second and experience that? Is that possible for me? That's a reflection for me because last few days I am not been able to continuously sit during my Amrit Vela. And what I was getting to this Murli was the reason was a lot of thoughts which are entangling me. And that is nothing but the bondage that's there from this world. So how quickly can I let go of that is an access for me. For me, checking is looking at how light I am while I'm connecting myself with Baba. And it's not at that moment, every day. So that's a point for me to reflect. If anybody can share any methods that work for them.
Very nice. Thanks for sharing. Thank you.
Saurabh, I feel love is absolute. Love is just absolute. And I even wanted to ask you, when here Baba said some people are getting ready, aim is to fly, but still there are some people refueling like the aeroplane. But I always used to think, before an aeroplane comes to the runway for people to, get in, it is always refueled, everything is done, the person comes ready, and it's ready to depart. So why does Baba speak here when he has come down, he's ready, he's holding out his hands, I am also ready? What is that thing when Baba mentioned that I'm refueling? Is it he's talking about himself or me? That was one thing which I have. Otherwise, I think when you're in, like they say, if you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. So if you're in love with a person, you have to be like that person. If I'm in love with one crazy incorporeal Baba, I sometimes call it crazy to love an incorporeal. And throughout for 63 births, I've loved only corporeal, divine corporeal being. But still, it is so ecstatic, it's so absolute. I think when that feeling comes, your whole body is stripped off just for a few moments, and then we experience. But I just wanted to know about this refueling part.
Yeah, it was so nice. Even I kind of heard it for the first time the way Baba explained, and like sometimes it for the aeroplane to fly, with all these processes, it takes time, and only if we can expedite these steps, I think whatever steps Baba said are important in order for us to fly. Like, just Baba says, I am a soul, not this body, and then, like churning and then filling up, and all that is important in order for us to really take a flight. So, yeah, it's just really, we need to expedite this. The more we practice it, the more easily, the more easy it gets. Yeah. Right.
Om Shanti. I just, I was listening to everyone, and because I've started my journey professionally as a pilot, I can relate a lot to this. And I just know that when at that time somebody had asked me, why do you want to become a pilot? Intuitively, I had answered so many years ago that, I feel that I'm beyond this earthly plane and I have a deep spiritual connection when I'm in the air. So I was very quietly listening, and I know that, there's a very different feeling. Even when you travel as a passenger, you experience the same, I think. And where you feel that you're away from the mundane. And I think Baba's teachings, through giving these examples of landing at a spiritual airport, is really, really intense and makes you feel out of this world, that you've experienced it physically, not only in your mind, or in your thought. Om Shanti.
Harpreet, then you'd given me the answer that I was looking for. Maybe I wasn't knowing what the axis is. The axis is looking at the destination, which is spiritual destination. And if I can relate this to any destination that I'm flying, I'm looking forward to reach that destination. I'm so happy when I'm inside the flight. So, keeping that spiritual destination, meeting with Baba is the focus. while and practicing to be bodiless. And then the fuel here is love for Baba as a relationship. Thank you for sharing that, Harpreet.
Yeah, thank you. But I had one different question, Saurabh bhai, if I may ask, if time permits. May I?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. You know, this 84th birth, where now Baba is saying in this Murli, and in so many other Murlis also we've heard, this is your 84th, and this is the final one. But in a lot of the other scriptures, they say 84 yug, and this is 84 births. So the 84 figure is matching, of course, but the yug, like most of our ancient religions within India itself, they talk about you're attaining the human form after 84 yug. Like you went through different, stages of being a fish, an animal, or this or that, and you finally attain the human form, is the end of that 84 yug, where you have the necessary elevated intellect to connect to the Almighty, whereas others are in a slightly lower plane of elevation. So, after so much of blessing, you have actually risen up and reached this human form. How do you connect this with Baba's 84th birth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, we used to believe that we have 84 million species and all. So it says 84 lakh, So lakh has two meanings. One is the species, another is the janam. So that's what Baba says. We only have 84 lives and we don't go into any other species. But as human souls, we always take a human costume. And this is the final costume, final birth before we go back. So, yeah. So,
Yeah, it's a slight variance from the other scriptures. That's why I asked.
yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, and that's where, like Baba's message is just like we don't change the species because, then the continuity of karmic, everything doesn't hold true, right? So that's why we just take a human form, like a human, costume every time, and then based on, this number 84 was also, based on like, Baba's revelations is, and then Baba describes like how many we take in golden, silver, copper, iron, and confluence age. So it just depicts the continuity of the soul, the eternal cycle of time that we are here. I generally treat it more as, a concept where I realize that I am on a journey and this is my final step of the journey. And then, before I reach home. And so just to not to forget that basically is what Baba's message is.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, me too. I just think there's just a continuous process. The descriptions might vary, but finally
Right.
it's the destination that matters.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Saurabh, just
Thank you.
one word, because I know there's no time. Jagdish Bai's world drama plus Baba's Murlis are there, where he just speaks about these numbers and all very clearly. Baba has given in those Murlis. I can't access them now, but I've read that how that 84 birth, that luck was added. And Baba also speaks about where some people say about 40 million years still left to Kali Yuga. All this is already there, explained in the Murli, as well as in Jagdish Bai's The World Eternal Transformation.
That's right. Yeah, it's a very nice book if you have time to. Yeah, it's really good.
So second, to add on to this, Saurabh, and today's Murli also brings this point that practically the 84th birth is an incarnation after you become a Brahmin. Is that what the Murli is also conveying?
Yeah, that's right. So this is our final Brahmin birth. Yeah.
So somewhere in one of the classes, I have heard that 83 births. So if we count all those four, right from golden age till now, all the births together would be 83 births, and 84th
Right.
birth is actually when we meet Baba. And
Correct.
so it's not that we are leaving our body and coming back. It's like the existing 83rd birth. When we connect with the Supreme is when the 84th birth happens.
Hmm.
That is one reflection, or maybe this is something which is my understanding. Is there anything else that needs to be added on, requested to support on?
Yeah, just to tell you, see, they say 21 births, but how has the calculation be given? 12 births in golden age, 8 births in moon dynasty. It's only 20. So I had asked Suryabai once, what is that one? He said there are some souls who get the knowledge, like dadis and all, they are again there, they continue. That is whether it is the 84th birth or the first birth of the 21 births. There are, these Murlis have really explained it. So the question of here is, of course, which a sister had asked, is it 84 lakh or 84? So that explanation, but this also Surya Bhai has explained in these classes about what is this, because I had asked him a question. Was it Dadi's, she's already there now, sorry, Mama's, is it her 84th birth or is it a first birth? And I asked him, this is what he had to say. He took me to that calculation of 12 plus 8 is 20, but still we say 21. It's a deep subject.
Just a small correction, Garjavan. 8 births are in the golden age and 12 births is in the silver age.
Sorry, that's what the 12 plus, it's 8 plus 12. That's what I'm sorry.
Yeah, 8 plus 12 plus 21 plus 42, and then the 84th birth.
And is there any Murli sister or Saurabh Bhai, anyone who can answer? Is there any Murli which talks about the other universes, the other animal worlds, the other alien worlds? Because I didn't at least come across it. We only talk about the earth and Paramdham, but we don't speak beyond even what science has already discovered. So maybe I don't know that Murli, So is there anything which covers the other aspects beyond the humans? Yeah.
There is.
Okay, that's good.
Right.
Om Shanti, before we move towards meditation, quick announcement. So tomorrow, it's a buffer day. So we have a Murli Manthan session by Datta Bai. Murli date on 21st, 1979. So the title is, in order to bring about world transformation, it is necessary for everyone to have the same attitude. So request all divine family to attend this Murli and then take the benefits. Om Shanti. Over to you, Sarubhai for meditation.
Sure. Thank you. So let's take a moment. Just detach from this bodily world. As we become bodiless, and experience being with Baba in our home and just staying there. We are residents of the subtle region with Baba. Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, family. Have a nice day.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Babu. Thank you, Surabhai. Thank you, divine family. We shall meet again tomorrow. Until then, experience Baptist love in its remembrance. Om Shanti.